Hello, everybody. This is Teacher David. Let's talk about modern slavery. This is our real reading level 1 exercise for the next week. Modern slavery. Modern slavery. Okay, slavery in the past. As you know, long ago, some countries, some people made other people slaves. However, modern slavery is still happening today in 2022. Modern means now or new, but now it means now at this time. So modern slavery, slavery happening now. Don't confuse slavery with labor or work. These people are working, they are not slaves. This is another person working. Marriage versus forced marriage. Forced marriage is a kind of slavery. And I'm not going to go there with the other type of marriage. So oftentimes, forced marriage happens when people are very much older or younger than each other. All right. And forced marriage also is being looked at by the United Nations, or the group of countries in the world trying to work together to make the world a safer place. Here's the United Nations in New York, and here is the inside of their office area. The United Nations are working to make the world a better place. Here on the left, we see a chart. Increased means to go up, increased, and decreased to go down. So we have increased going up and decrease going down. Of course, here on the right, we have a coronavirus 2019 graph. Climate change, we've talked about this a lot. So just look at the images, and we're thinking of how weather is changing in the long term. Okay, so we have, in today's world, we're thinking about the world getting hotter, but in the past, the world went through climate change as well, and the world got colder. Survive on the left means to not die. Help, help, survive. You don't want to die. That's survive. And on the other side, cost of living means how much money does it take to live? That's what we mean by cost of living. And threats are problems that are facing us. We have to deal with them. Here we have the skull and crossbones threat, and then a more modern version, the alert on your computer. That's a threat. We're talking about things that are dangerous. Solely. When we're talking about solely, we're thinking about doing something by yourself. Like that person is sitting down in the mountains solely by himself. Solely means only. And of course, quarter means 1/4. 1/4. Quarter. Okay, paragraph 1, review. Slavery still exists. The United Nations says about 50 million people are enslaved today. They are in forced labor or marriages. The UN said 1 in 150 people in the world is enslaved. This number increased by 20% in the past few years. It is growing because of coronavirus, climate change, and the cost of living crisis. These have made many people poor. They can only survive by working in terrible conditions or by having an unwanted marriage. So take a moment and read that again. Pause here and continue to read through that again. Okay, let's continue. Modern slavery, paragraph 1, review, question 1. How many people are enslaved today? How are they enslaved? How many persons in 150 people are slaves? By what percent has this number increased? What 3 things are making slavery increase? How can these people survive? Paragraph 2. The United Nations hope to end modern slavery by 2030. However, the number of people in forced labor or forced marriage has increased. Slavery happens when people cannot refuse or cannot leave because of threats. This problem is not just in poor countries. The UN said it would be a mistake to believe that forced labor is solely the problem of poor countries. Over half of forced workers and a quarter of forced marriages are in richer countries. When did the UN hope to end slavery by? What is still happening to the number of enslaved people? When does slavery happen? Is the problem of slavery only in poor countries? How much forced labor happens in richer countries? How much forced marriage happens in rich countries? Okay, good students. Thank you for listening, and take your time as you watch this one more time. Start at the beginning, watch it all again. See you in class.